Unified. Week 18, Chapter 18. Promoting another's self-acceptance. Everyone is your vehicle for realizing your wholeness. This course has emphasized your own responsibility for yourself, That is proper. You must accept your own fate. You have free will. You must freely will to live a life of full potential. That is true of everyone. Yet, there is a connection between us all. As long as even one of us remains separated, there is imbalance for everyone. If one leg of a table is separated or even just shorter, it throws off the whole table no matter how perfect the other legs. By the same token, everyone's attitude, perception of reality, and awareness affects your own. This is group consciousness. Everyone is tied into that group awareness. It molds your own attitudes, your own values, and your own desires. In that way, everyone else is a vehicle for realizing your wholeness. What other people think collectively and individually is part of you. You're forced to deal with it. Actually, these others are largely responsible for the thoughts you now must correct in your creating formulas. The stronger the errors are in this group consciousness, the greater is the pull on you. And the harder is the correction. So you have a definite stake in what is happening to everyone else. In the same way, when large numbers of people correct their thinking, bringing it in tune with God's thought, you're affected. Your own process becomes easier. The orderliness of truth has an interesting characteristic. Only a small bit of orderliness goes a long way. It only takes a few perfectly ordered light waves to bring a whole system of light waves into perfect order. The result is the laser light. The same is observed with magnets. It takes only a few orderly waves to bring a whole magnetic system into order. It is the same with group consciousness. A few ordered minds greatly affect whole populations. A small fraction of a community can change the whole community. Not surprisingly, this kind of change goes largely unnoticed. It just happens. In recent years, this kind of change has been taking place. There are hundreds of groups and countless individuals making it their primary goal to experience wholeness, being unified with their higher selves and with all creation. This course is one such example. In this century, you have witnessed a renewed concern among mankind for spiritual values, for physical health, and for the environment. You have seen a reversal of many destructive practices on a global scale. This reversal is coming about simply because of a few groups and people that have their thoughts in tune with God's thought. Those few are changing the world. They are literally your vehicle for your wholeness. It is that small nucleus of people now on earth that is expanding your awareness. Not many years ago, you probably would not have been interested in this course. Certainly, you wouldn't have gotten this far into it had it not been for the changing group consciousness. Now, part of your awareness is the desire for a return to wholeness. So indeed, everyone is your vehicle for realizing your wholeness. All are in this together. While you're responsible for yourself, that includes some responsibility for others. You can't experience total wholeness until everyone else experiences it with you. All legs in the table must be unified. Last week, you experienced some of the joy of helping others. You cleared the auras of some of your very close ones of uninvited influences. You immediately felt the joy of doing just that simple act. You lived vicariously in their new freedom, even if for a short time. This week, you expand on helping others. You don't do this by preaching or even talking to them. You aren't interested in winning converts. You won't try to convince anyone. You're simply going to use your own creating powers to help change their awareness. Remember, we are all connected. What you think and believe does affect those around you, indeed everyone on earth. When your thoughts are one with that creating thought of God, your effect is thousands of times more powerful than when you're thinking a thought you made up. This week, do a creating formula for one or two of the people closest to you. You may also do your other formulas if you have time, but this project takes priority. This week, in the formula, you simply claim that the persons have self-acceptance. You claim and accept self-acceptance for those persons. This is important to understand. You claim their self-acceptance. This means that you perceive the self-acceptance. You believe they have it. You know they have it. It is your thoughts you're dealing with. So in the thoughts section of the formula, consider your thoughts that interfere with your belief in their self-acceptance. Likewise, it is your acknowledgement of forgiveness that you're dealing with in the forgiveness section. Once you firmly establish their self-acceptance in your mind, you manifest it for your own experience. Of course, they too reap the rewards. They gain self-acceptance. There's no telling how many people are responsible in part for your level of consciousness. Everyone is everyone else's vehicle for realizing wholeness. You're not interfering with another person's free will by doing this creating formula. You're in actuality promoting their free will. No one has free will when they are not unified. Imagine fears, worries, alienation, loneliness, poverty, unhappiness. These are the true enemies of free will. Once unified and experiencing self-acceptance, they have free will. However, this is the only creating formula you can do for someone without their consent. If a person chooses to be sick or poor or unhappy or whatever, you can't interfere. God Himself will not interfere with His beloved's creation, even if it is filled with error and illusion. Free will is protected by absolute law. With a person's permission, however, you may do a creating formula for some problem he or she is experiencing. Just say the creating formula, realizing that it is your thought, your perception we are dealing with. You claim the solution and you accept it because you believe and know the solution is already manifest. It is, of course, at some level of creation. It is your thought and your forgiveness you deal with. Then their solution becomes your experience. What a glorious gift. But remember, you do this only with their permission. We do not interfere with another person's creation or their free will. End of chapter 18.